Hello, my dear ones. This is a timeless, near personal love and spirituality reading for whomever is guided to watch it, with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. And this reading in particular is sponsored by Ellie. And if you also want to support my channel, like Ellie, you can follow the donation link in the description box of this video. Take note that the reading can be in the reverse for some of you, and if you need more information or help after you listen to this reading, you can turn to the love readings for the season that is up, or you can check out the pick a card and near personal readings on the first page of my channel. Click the headline of each playlist to see all the videos that the playlist contains. And I will start shuffling your cards, and I use the original Rider-Waite Tarot. So, when I open your deck here, I see Justice with the Two of Swords in the reverse. Both of these cards are Libra. It's Libra. So, it's about balance, and often it's about a person maybe trying to shield themselves from their own emotion to not have to experience the ups and downs of one's own experience of emotions and feelings. So for example, if we don't want to be nervous, we can ignore the thing that making us nervous and to be able to keep the balance. Or we can ignore some kind of truth. Both these cards are about this is truth and denying truth. And so we might ignore or deny a truth because it's uncomfortable and it's bringing us out of balance to acknowledge this truth. For example, starting to make us feel anxious, and usually this anxiety is coming, so we will do something about it. But there's a balance with that too. If we are too anxious, we can't function and we can't find inner peace and we can't be happy. But if we're also ignoring our input from the surrounding, the divine, our own emotions, our own intuition, we're also getting, we are not listening to the messages that comes through, and we miss out on a lot, both opportunities, but also warning signs and others. So it's a balance to also to this. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we have also judgment. With the Two of Swords, we could see the Justice card. 1 + 1, it's 11. 1 + 1 is 2. And this is 2 of Swords, and this is Judgment 2. 20. 2 + 0, 2. So it's a lot of 2, 2, 2 here. So it shows that there might be a couple or you in opposition to someone else. So to gather information, it's also about being able to make good decisions and making judgment calls and being able to make the best decisions for your own life. Then you need all the information. This person, we can say that there's two sides to this card. One is a person that is kind of tuning into things that's in their surrounding by blindfolding themselves and covering up their heart so they can feel what's inside of them. They might be able to feel things around them also, the pull of the moon, the pull of the water. So it's about going into your own intuition. But on the other hand, is also a person that might be ignoring this due to the crossed arms over the heart chakra, kind of protecting oneself against taking in truths. It seems like this reading is about this balance act between being able to making good decisions and taking in the information in a way that still keeps you in balance. So for example, we can, if we are able to stay open to what we believe this time is the truth, even if it's an ugly truth, if we know that we can take care of ourselves, it will be less scary to see the truth. So I don't think the solution is to ignore the truth, but rather back yourself up while dealing with the truth. Let's say that you are late with the pay on your mortgage. So maybe one day the bank will knock on your door and they will ask you to leave because the house is now theirs. To ignore this fact would be to put your head in the sand and to not be preparing yourself for this moment, but to be very worried and anxious about this wouldn't be particularly productive either. What a person could do is to do the best they can in the situation. For example, to manage to get a hold of money, maybe working extra or selling off all their furniture or whatever is needed, and making an effort to actually be able to pay the mortgage in time, or at least before the bank makes a claim to it, the house, so that we don't ignore the truth, and we do something about it, and we do the best we can. But the best we can is also all we can do. If the bank still takes the house, then, well, kind of shit happens. And sometimes this is what's meant to happen. So it's also about kind of going with the flow, rolling with what is. So whatever happens is fine. So it's about not only about being able to see the truth, but also being able to accept the truth. So it takes a very brave person to be able to do this. So I called 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world. And here we have the Emperor in the reversed and the 2 of Swords in the reverse. So it seems like you're dealing with someone that mainly wants to put the head in the sand and probably are acting kind of self-destructive due to this, because it might be that they lose their house because of this, or they lose you, which is what I'm feeling here. That there might be a person that's trying to ignore their feeling because their feelings is throwing them out of balance, and that is making them risk their home or you, if you are the symbol for their home. Might of course be you doing this as well. So I call the 6 elements, and here we have the Queen of Cups with the 2 of Swords. So here is a person that know a lot of stuff but doesn't want to know it and kind of wants to forget they know it. And here is a person that is okay with knowing things they know, but this person has the back turned towards this person here. And I think most of you will belong to this side here, the left side, and this will be the person that you are dealing with, that you have mastered and owned up to your own emotions. They don't freak you out anymore. You have learned to honor them, and your keen intuition that comes out of this. If it doesn't feel good, do something about it. Talk to the people involved. Try to make a change. So it's more an accepting attitude, and also accepting one's own vulnerability, accepting that we have these feelings, so we don't have to be stupidly strong and try to, I have this brave face on and I'm so cool, you can't ever get to me. So this person is stronger because they are more going with the flow than being rigid. So it's instead of breaking, one is being able to bend. And it doesn't mean that this person compromises. It just means that they accept the pain that might come from certain situation or insights, or the insight to one's own intuition, but bending to it. Okay, so if I feel that I can't trust my spouse here because this person is holding a lot of stuff in that they don't want to talk about, then that's that. I need to be with a person that can actually communicate with me. And so she bends with this truth that, okay, so this is the truth. I wish this person could talk to me. I wish they can open up and show vulnerability and be truthful and honest, but they can't. And I bend with this truth. So I give up my dream because of this truth. The dream might be to be with this person, but she can't. So she's very focused on being like throwing her own attention into the wisdom well, which is symbolized by the cup here with the lid on. So she might keeping secrets too from this person at this point, but I don't think it has always been like this. It's more a withdrawal that's happening, like the person is realizing a truth and are withdrawing from this situation more and more because of the truth that they know that they can't change, for example, another person. So 6 elements. earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear viewers here. Seven of Swords with the Queen of Wands. So this person here has been able to expose some of the worst lies and being able to see them head on and bravely accepting this truth. And I think this person with the swords have kind of fallen on their own grip. If you belong to an air sign, you can still be the water and the fire girl. It's more about energy of being closed off or too much in one's mind. The Three of Swords. I'm getting several things here. The first I got was that the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands that's able to acknowledge and bend to the truth is healing. While there's another energy here that kind of wants to ignore this heartbreak. But well, that's up to anyone. The King of Pentacles keeps themselves very safe at the top of the hill in their castle because of their ability to not be touched by the outside world. So sometimes it's a survival mechanism that can be also very rewarding in many ways. I'm not saying that this is the best way to handle things, but it's a way to keep one's emotions or business in chess when the outside world is hostile. So it's a way to survive short term, like in isolation, but it's not a way to survive long term. If we want to live a happy life, we need to have input from the outside. We can't just we would stay undeveloped if we just have, just flowers and vegetables that we have always had, no new exciting spices from other countries, just locked into our old ways of doing things. It's a little bit boring, and if you meet a person like that, you will feel like they were undeveloped, or it's very obvious when people have been living in isolation, kind of hiding away from other people. It makes them at least they fall out of style. Yes. Okay, so I will just tune in here for a few seconds to this situation of yours. Okay, so I feel this is a situation where there's an important decision needs to be made, and it's concerning two people. And one person is more equipped to make a healthy decision, and the other person is probably their mindset is going to make them make a wrong decision for themselves that they will maybe regret later, because they have not been open, not upfront with things. They have been hiding a lot of stuff that they at a later point would wish that they have shared. So and that's, if you are on the other side, that's nothing you can do about it. You just need to be like the Queen of Cups and bend to the truth. You can't change this other person. You can't make them wake up in time. You just need to accept that this is how it is. And people always learn from mistakes like this. So this might be a very important life lesson for this soul, and that they need it. Maybe their stubbornness will make them make the wrong decision, and they will regret it later. And this is the teaching that they need to go through to learn certain things that their soul craves to know. And so it's kind of rigged like this. It's a destiny thing. So you can't do anything about if a person is not making the right decision short term, because it might be the right decision from their soul point of view, because maybe they really want this slap on their face to really wake themselves up. But they could wake up this day if they refuse to let fear drive them, and they could be honest and truthful. But that would be short of a miracle, I think. Okay. So this is the new bottom of the deck, and we see this Emperor here is not in reversed anymore, so not maybe as stubborn, but we'll see. Well, I think this person is still very stubborn. And this is the old bottom of the deck, and it's Justice, and I'm thinking that this person already have gotten a certain amount of bad consequences for their inability to show vulnerability or to ask for forgiveness, is what I'm seeing. But the person is still holding fort, we can say. And as I said, it's allowed to stay and hold fort and survive. But sometimes maybe the person has hidden away for, let's say, 20 years. And the war ended 15 years ago. But they were never able to get the news because they were so isolated. So it feels like a person that's unable to adapt to current situation and kind of living in the past and the fear of the past, and they're living and using a survival skill that they learned in the past and were necessary then, but now it's just causing them a lot of trouble and heartache, and maybe not only them but also the people close to them. Okay, so I'll just put out the cards here, and after I have done that I will start reading these cards for you. So I will put out 9 cards, and it's kind of past, present and future, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. The center card, for example, it's the issue at hand. It's kind of the point of interest. So we'll take that card first. And we have an Ace of Wands. So the point of interest is spiritual growth. This is why it's all happening. Yes, if the spiritual growth wasn't so important, you were probably allowed to run and, help the person from themselves, help them to not make this daft decision. But since this spiritual growth is the central point, they can't learn if you take away the consequences of the teaching. Okay. So it's new growth. It might be a new beginning. For some of you, it will be a very special moment in time where you have oscillated between this or that or this or that or this or that. Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I? But here you have decided upon one thing. So it's almost like you're about to leave this other entity behind and start something new. That's what I'm feeling here. So they have just a short window in time where they can still catch up with you. That's what I'm feeling. Okay. And here we have a 5 of Swords. So I feel to not put any more effort into an old battle, because the snake has kind of done all the biting, and the venom it's not there anymore. It's wasted. And before, this situation probably hurt you a lot. Now it's like you don't care as much anymore, or it doesn't hurt you to think back on what happened. I think you have come to a certain point of acceptance. So yes, this was what happened. The person did an awful thing. Yeah. It doesn't bother me much anymore. So that's why you have come to this conclusion of the Ace of Wands, the new beginning, because you don't need them to come and say that they're sorry. You don't need them to come and fix things. It's water under the bridge. And this is the future, and we have an 8 of Wands. So it's very clear that you are not going to be the one reaching out. It's almost like a situation where when you reach out, you get a slap on your face every time. So eventually you realize it's no point in reaching out. Why would I want another slap on my face? So it's a certain amount of acceptance, but also a certain amount of letting go is what I'm feeling in this situation. It's no use to reach out to this person anymore. You can't make them change their mind. You can't shake them, wake them. You can't make them see things your way. You can't avoid the disaster waiting to happen. The only thing you can do is focus on your own life and and let this person be the victim of their own decisions. And here we have the 9 of coins in the reversed, and I'm thinking it's a person with a false sense of self-esteem. They have distanced themselves from people to act like they don't care, or act like nothing bothers them, but it's just a mask, it's just a facade, it's not the truth. It's just a charade, or how the person wants to present themselves, and you kind of know it and feel it. You can't trust it fully that it's like that, but it doesn't matter, because either the person doesn't need you or they act like they don't need you. Same outcome. You don't need them anymore either because of this. And here we have the 7 of Cups coins in the reverse. So you have stopped waiting for this person. So it might be a situation where you feel like, or you have felt like you belong together with a certain person, but they have acted like they don't belong together with you. And now you're tired of persuading them. You're tired of waiting for them to see the value of your relationship, your situation, your project, the work that you have been doing, or the effect that you have had on their life, the positive effect, or whatever it is that you have wanted to show them. You have invested a lot in this situation, but it doesn't seem to have panned off in something that you can build on for the future, because the person they just didn't get it. Okay, they just didn't get it. So it's like you have been trying to open a can of goods of some sort, like a food can, and but there's usually a ring there, and the ring is not there anymore, so it can't be open. So eventually you need to understand that yes, there's food inside of here, but it's totally impossible to get to the food, because the person has such a big shelter or shield around them, and they even don't have a doorknob anymore to get to them, or this ring so you can open the can. Okay. And 9 of Wands. Yeah, you have been through a lot because of this person and their inability to expose themselves and show vulnerability, and to fail to be on your side, or to admit to. The more you admit to who you are and your own vulnerability, the more intimacy you can get in a relationship. Because if you say, well, I had problem with this, and the other person says, well, I feel you. I also went through this, and it was like this to me. Then we are opening up and being vulnerable. But if one person is saying, well, I feel a lot for you, another person says, well, I don't know what I feel. Can't we just stop bothering about how we feel and just enjoy our time together? That will be a smack in the face for the person that opened up with vulnerability. Sometimes this is the truth, and we need to let people catch up. So I think you try to let this other person catch up, but in the end, this is how you feel, and you have been forced to build up a lot of boundaries and like forts against this other person, because they, as soon as you showed vulnerability, they kind of stole from you instead of opening up to you. And now you feel like you have been to almost hell and back a little bit, but actually you have become like a trained soldier, because this, what you have been through, it has taught you well. So you're much better equipped now for dealing with difficult people in a more accepting kind of way, like accepting that this person is like this. It's nothing you can do to change them, and okay, so this is how it is, and be able to move on. So that is a very valuable life lesson that will make you so much more happy than trying to take whip a dead horse back into shape. It's not possible. Sometimes we just need to learn to accept that a person, you might love them to the moon and back, but they are so damaged that they are not able to open up to you. So it's no use to put more effort and time into this situation. And here is the future, and it's the Nine of Swords. So this was what I was talking about in the beginning, that this person will have to take the consequences of this action, because they acted like the hermit that didn't need anyone else. 9. And now you act like the person that don't need them. You do admit to still needing them and to have been hurt by this situation, but from now on you're guarding your heart chakra, and you're building walls towards this person. You even you don't look at in that direction anymore. And this person doesn't look in your direction. It's another 9, so 9, 9, 9. And this is the consequences of them shutting you out and not showing vulnerability. They need to, eat their own medicine, because now you're acting like them, and you're not showing vulnerability too. So you're just showing, vulnerability to the people that's able to open up and be intimate and vulnerable with you. The other people, they can, hop on the broom and fly away. So, okay. So, 4 of Cups. It seems like this person that you have been dealing with have a history of denying all things being offered to them. So the chance that they get, they don't cherish these chances. They don't even look at them. They don't consider them. It's like they don't want chances. It's almost like these chances is overwhelming them, or are a bother to them. If people want them to, hey, can you start work for me? Or, hey, do you want to be my lover? Or, hey, I want to marry you. Everything is a problem for this person. And it always feels like they are hoovered, and that people want to give them stuff. And it might be because this person is detaching themselves from humans, and that can make a lot of humans attracted to this person, because a person that is slipping away like this, they won't overwhelm you, at least. So it might be that this person actually gets a lot of offers from people, and that it's overwhelming. But if they would actually decide what it is that they want and go after that with some kind of conviction, and putting the heart into it and putting some effort into it, they didn't have to, sit there and choose. They could create the situation that they want to experience. But now it's like, it's so bothersome with all these people. So I shut them down, and I show them I don't need anyone. Can see this in the past here, that this person felt like they won, but they didn't win anything. They said no to the offer. They stole something from a person, and they ended up alone. And in the future, they will also suffer from this, because it seems like you are moving on and blocking this person. There will be no more future with this person, and that's their consequence. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. So I'm thinking I'm seeing a new beginning for you. It's a very precarious point in time where you seem to leave an old situation behind, because it's not worth your time and effort anymore. And you still have the same dream. You still want the same thing, but you're going to put this seed in more fertile ground. Not bet on a 4-legged horse instead of one with 3 legs. Okay, so I'm going to take an oracle card from Energy Oracle. So what kind of future can we see for you? And well, it's bittersweet, but you won. But what did you win? You won the fact that this person will regret how they treated you. But you didn't win their love, which you wanted from the first place, or their admiration, or the project that you had together wasn't able to be launched because this person said no, 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 no. So you didn't really win anything, but from a divine point of view, you did what you were supposed to do. I think I have my guide with me that loves to rhyme, so I'm sorry for that, but well, it's the time for everything. Rhymes too, I guess. So you did what you were supposed to do, and you did so with flying colors. You were able to teach yourself the things you were supposed to be taught, and this person was also a good teacher for you. And now with your actions of moving on, you are teaching them something. And that's your victory. But it's also a little bit like you're on their nose like this. And so what will be happening with this person? Will they reach out? Will they slowly lay down and die? Or what will happen? Well, they will overthink things and they will end up with nothing. So that's what I'm seeing. Like a person that, you know, want another person to prove themselves over and over and over and over and over again before they show vulnerability. And in the end, all is lost. So the gold that they had turned to dust or sand in their hands. And that's that. And this is what this person needed to learn. Maybe to be more grateful with the opportunities that being given and not acting like, ugh, all these people want all this stuff from me. I'm so exhausted. So I hope this helped with whatever you are dealing with right now. That may the divine send this message to you, and that it will strengthen you to also know maybe that you're allowed to let go and to move on, and it's kind of up to the other person to be saved or not. Okay, because yes, we can't save another person, but they can save themselves if they're opening up to the offers being given to them, if they are taking chances in life in just wasting time waiting for death, basically. And they will waste a lot of time until it's too late, and they will end up rather miserable, like with the bank taking their house. If they would have been with you, you could have helped them and found solutions, and things would have gone in a different direction. So I'm hearing a song, and it's Hotel Walls. It's about a person that had a mission, forgot about it, and wasted a lot of time shooting themselves in the foot, and then time is over. The body that they had borrowed started to look kind of worn, and that is what's happening here, I'm thinking. So you can't play around too long. You can't play like Rapunzel in the tower and hope that someone would, fight the walls and climb up to you and save you. Sometimes we need to meet the other people halfway. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take really good care. Stay blessed. Thank you. Bye-bye.